Hello and welcome to a new edition of our program Africa Today, and happy Eid to all our viewers. In this edition of the program we will talk about the Eid or Lesser Bayram and how it is celebrated in African countries. And the Eid al-Fitr holiday will begin in Egypt on Wednesday, marking the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. Dar al-Ifta, the country's institution for religious ethics, announced the date on Monday. More in the following report.
Eid al-Fitr, the smaller feast or the feast of celebrating at the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. People await the sighting of the moon of the next lunar month to celebrate the feast. A night full of cheerfulness, families gather awaiting to the announcement. Fireworks are on and special cookies are baked even days ahead, and the atmosphere is bright. In the early morning hours, Eid prayers are performed in open areas, and decorations and balloons fill streets and alleys. Idiyas or gift money are offered to children as well as candies. Family visits are common, and sweets and delicacies made especially for the occasion are offered by and gifted to visitors. Delicacies that crown the smaller feast festivities in Egypt include kaht, which is special Eid biscuits, and ammonia biscuits, then petit four or soft-filled biscuits, as well as ghorayeba specially made for the occasion. It's of sugar mixed with sweets.
And now we are joined over the phone by Dr. Raouf Ghaffar. He is a political and economic analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Happy Eid, Mr. Raouf. And as we are talking about the African continent, can you shed light on how Eid al-Fitr is celebrated in the African countries?
It's a little different from maybe Arab countries, but same thing. They celebrate by getting new clothes, by going in the streets, by gathering families, and some of them they visit the cemeteries and pay respects and pray for their dead loved ones. They eat cookies and what we call kahk.
Yes.
And all kinds of celebrations that are practically similar in each and every country. In the old days, we used to eat fish. Normally, people in fasting time and in Ramadan, they don't go for fish a lot. So they take the advantage of Ramadan being finished by eating fish. So these are, in general, the main themes of celebration in the Eid al-Fitr.
Yes, Mr. Raouf, also, how are regrettable events like Israeli occupations, aggression on Gaza, and the situation in Sudan impacting Eid atmosphere?
Absolutely, absolutely. First of all, in these areas, I'm talking Gaza, I'm talking Sudan, people, they don't celebrate. Of course, they don't have the spirit to celebrate. So they are living in terrible conditions and they cannot celebrate. And of course, we are influenced when we celebrate or we exaggerate in our celebration, and we feel that we have brothers and sisters that are not celebrating. They are living in terrible situation. We tend to take it a little calmer, and of course, it reflects, unfortunately, negatively on our celebration due to the tragic events that are happening around us.
And how do events like Eid influence ties between African states?
It's like ties between families.
Yes.
when people are celebrating one event together, they feel they are close to each other. And this event, particularly when it's a religious event, people all around the Islamic world and all around, of course, the African states, whether they are Muslim states or they have a majority or minority of Muslims, they feel united around one thing. It's like the Hajj season, for instance. Everybody is looking to Mecca for whether they are there or not. Same thing here. We are celebrating one occasion all together, so it makes us closer to each other. We exchange congratulations and what have you, and this is what brings us more and more near to each other.
So, sir, how important are Afro-Arab ties for both regions?
First of all, I'm talking Arab, I'm talking Egypt. I'm Egyptian, and
yes.
Egypt definitely has strengthened its ties with Africa tremendously. And this comes as a nice occasion to exchange, as I said, congratulations, whether between the heads of states or if you have a friend living somewhere, you like to congratulate him. We join over one happy occasion, and this, of course, tightens the ties and bring us closer and closer together. Arabs and Africans, because we are together in one important and happy occasion and celebration.
And sir, how can the spirit of the feast be used to bring back strong social and family ties?
As I was saying, it's a nice occasion for families to get together. Unfortunately, when we were young and when we were children, the ties were, in my opinion, closer. And
yes.
Maybe there was no social media, there was no television even at times, so we had to get together. So social ties are always strengthened over important occasions like this. But now, even though it's not as tight as it was, but still people like to get to visit each other, whether they are family or neighbors or whatever. The Eid itself, as a definition, is a celebration and is happiness. So people like to feel happy together and not alone. That is why the relation become closer and the ties become more near, and everybody wants all people around to be happy as we are all.
So, Mr. Raouf, the feast is the time also to remember the poor. How does giving out money and food impact the society?
First of all, during Ramadan, there is what we call Zakat al-Fitr. It means that everybody who can afford gives away some money to the poor. It's a nice, in celebrating Eid al-Fitr as well, we like alms are always more concentrated and in larger amounts. As I said, one doesn't want to feel happy alone. If somebody else is underprivileged or is not as capable as the person who is celebrating, one loves to help other people and to feel the same thing. So yes, of course, we are directing portion of our money to make other people happy, and this is very important for the theme of the Eid, to have everybody happy, even the poor that cannot afford one can try and help them the way he can.
So, sir, what are the similarities and differences between African countries in celebrations, or do you believe that Eid is always marked in the same way in all countries?
Most of the countries they
Yes.
celebrate the same way, but some countries they, for instance, they go out and sing. Some islands, African countries who are overlooking the sea or are islands, they go on the beach and they sing on the beach and they dance on the beach, and this is a very minor differences, but the idea is to dress properly, to wear new dresses, and to enjoy the cookies together and the family gathering. So it's most of the countries celebrate it the same way, but depends on the environment they live in. But in essence, it's all happy and merry and enjoyable.
Yes, sir, one final question. How would you describe the role of Egypt in boosting ties between Africa and the Arab world?
We are playing a big role. Africa is a future. Africa is a continent that is very wealthy. It has unlimited resources, and the Arab, a lot of Arab countries, they have means, and if they join hands, I'm sure they can create a better world. They can exploit the resources existing in Africa in a much better way than the occupants did, and it's a win-win situation. They can invest in African countries. They can establish projects in African countries. By that, they increase and they improve the standard of living, and they do good for the African people, and in the same time, they get worth out of their money. So, of course, occasions like this strengthen the ties and maybe open opportunities for cooperation and joint celebrations and projects that can be beneficial for both sides.
Yes, finally, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Raouf Ghaffar, an economic and political analyst. Thank you for being with us. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Africa Today. I wish all our viewers a happy Eid. Until we meet you again, it's goodbye.